socialists. See, socialists, they want to change the political system so that they don't have to work, essentially. You're just wasting your fucking time. I mean, that's one of the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. But that's what socialists want to do. They don't want to be pushed into having to work, right? But instead of getting their money up and retiring early, they want to change up the political system so that they don't have to. And they'll get their universal basic income, but it's not going to give them the lifestyle that they're looking for. I mean, they really believe that one day they will live good lives without working hard for it. The world just doesn't work like that, and it will never work like that. Yes, they'll give you enough to survive, but you're gonna always be pretty much living deprived, man. I spoke about that in a live stream some time ago, a life of deprivation. You don't want to live like a life of deprivation, bro. And I've experienced that. And I think most of you guys have experienced that. Growing up, being told, oh, we can't afford it, oh, blah, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. We grew up not having the things that we wanted in life. And it's sad, man. It's a sad reality because some people that their life is that's their whole life. Their whole life is like that. And I can't imagine never crossing the finish line. I can't imagine being restricted, being deprived forever, man. I mean, that's a nightmare. That's nothing short of a nightmare. Never crossing the finish line. Deprivation your entire existence. It's terrible, 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 it's terrible. It is, it's terrible, guys. It truly is a terrible, 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 torrid existence. You know, I don't want to have to live like that. You want to cross the finish line. You want to be a rich man, a wealthy man, a successful man, an established man, a distinguished man. This is what you truly want out of life. You don't want to be a poverty-stricken peasant, a PSP, you know? You don't want to be a poverty-stricken peasant for the rest of your life. A peasant. Because that's what you are. People want to believe they're more than what they are. No, you're a peasant, man. Yeah, I know it doesn't sound nice. I know it doesn't feel nice. But if it's the truth, it's the truth. Like, what do you want me to say, bro? Like, if you're a PSP, poverty-stricken peasant, then that's what you are. I'm sorry to tell you. Sorry to tell you the harsh reality and the facts. I get it. Nobody wants to live like that, right? Who wants to live like that? I damn sure don't. Because life is too tough. Life is too competitive to just, you know, do nothing. But some of you guys are staying in the Western world thinking that you can afford to play video games. I mean, you can't even afford to play video games, bro, if you're going overseas, let alone staying in the Western world. Like, you guys think you can afford to play video games, follow sports, do all this dumb shit? No, you can't afford it, homie. You can't afford it. You can't afford it. You can't afford it. You can't afford it. The world is getting more and more competitive, bro. You're competing against AI now, as if it weren't already competitive enough. Now you're competing against AI, homie. And you're still trolling around. You're still, yeah, that's why you're finished, man. Trolling around, playing, being a bozo. You know, you have to be so organized. You have to be so regimented. It's like being a Navy SEAL, bro. You know, it's like you have to be so. It's not easy anymore. It's not easy at all, man. It's tough as nails to make it nowadays. Especially in the WEST, the West, you know, especially, bro. It's incredibly tough nowadays. Becoming rich is the toughest thing that you'll ever do, man. Got guys out here complaining about chicks. You can't find a chick to date. Like, are you kidding me, bro? Like, that's easier than becoming rich, bro. Like, finding a chick to date, bro, that's a piece of cake compared to becoming rich. But that's the thing, guys are just losers. I mean, I look at most men and I just see the loser. They got loser DNA. They shouldn't be here. But they're here because of poor sexual selection of the opposite gender. You know, I mean, that's the thing, bro. Opposite gender don't know how to select anything. That's why they never had the power to select throughout history. Their power to select, was enforced upon men in the Western world. Under a natural environment, they wouldn't have the power to select because they're weaker than men, you know. But this is a harsh reality, man. It's a harsh reality of living in the Western world, man. A lot of guys are just deluding themselves, thinking that they don't have to sacrifice everything to get to cross the finish line. Yeah, you do, man. You do. You think I want to work, bro? You think I want to struggle and hustle and fight and um even when I touch down overseas, work 100 hours a week in a new country instead of just soaking it up and enjoying it, which you can still enjoy it working 100 hours a week because that's not, there's still time. You can still go out once a week. But that's the thing. When I touch down overseas, I'm only going to go out once a week. How many guys living like that? They're going out every day or at least almost every day because they're not willing to sacrifice anything. Most men are just living delusional, thinking that the good times are coming. The good times are finished. You know, the good times in terms of most people doing well, living, that's already finished. There is not, it's gonna get worse from here. Now, how do you compete in an environment that's getting worse and you're already struggling? You can't. That's why you're finished. That's why I tell most men they're finished, and most men, they're not, they can't wrap their heads around it. I don't know if they're too dumb or they're coping, by just denying it because it's easier to deny it than accept the truth. I don't really know what their issue is. I don't, but what I do know is that the way most people are living, man, they're never gonna come out of their situation. Never. They're gonna remain at the bottom of the food chain. And it's terrible to be at the bottom. It's really terrible to be at the bottom of the food chain. It's painful, it's psychologically, mentally, physically draining. It's terrible, man. It's terrible. 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 I look at the shit that I gotta go through as a man, and it's like, damn, like I don't want to have to keep going through this. I really don't. I really don't want to have to keep going through that, man. It's not nice. It's not pleasant, but there is really no other option, man. I mean, realistically, there's three options. If you want to really be real about it and smart about it, right? Realistically, realistically, you got three options. Option number one, option number one is hustle and grind your way out and cross the finish line. Option number two is do nothing and remain in the same position forever. And option number three is end your own life prematurely. You know, These are the only real options available, and people don't want to accept that. It's not nice, it's not pleasant. Of course it's not. Of course it's not nice, of course it's not pleasant. But this is the reality, man. This is the harsh reality. Oh man, it makes you sad. It does make you sad when you have to think about it. When you have to think about the situation. Absolutely, it's saddening. It's very saddening to have to face this harsh and stark reality. Absolutely, it's bloody saddening. You think I like that? You think I like the fact that I gotta hustle and grind and basically dedicate my entire life to it for however long it takes? No, I don't. But most men are just because, like I said, it's too easy to be poor. So this is how they trick you. It's easy to be poor, so therefore most people remain poor. But why would I want to remain poor though, just because it's easy?